are back from vacation.
School's starting up.
Yeah.
For the first day of school every year, we have these little boards where we write down like the kid's name, who their teacher is, what their favorite things are.
For you to take a picture with your child.
Yeah, with the kids. My wife asked the little guy, what's your favorite thing? And he thought about it and he said, Mommy.
Good answer.
Anything else? And I was sitting in the room. I was at breakfast and I went, and 2 beats later, he looks up at her and goes, no.
Nope.
It's like, all right, man. Thanks, dude. That's it. He couldn't think of anything else.
Nothing else came to mind.
Quiet, please.
Now, my oldest one, of course, he went next and he said mommy and daddy. So he is clearly my favorite.
So he's still in the will.
In 4.
The other one, I'm just assigning all the debt to.
3. 2.
The Apple Company presents a Truly Terrible Podcast. Welcome to Nonsense Season 3, Episode 44. I'm Jeff Parker.
I'm Still.
This is our take on the week's business, tech, and entertainment headlines. This time, Trump's Intel extortion, pay up or lose your job.
Oh, yeah, that tracks.
The FTC versus free speech, the bizarre battle over X ads.
Where else are you going to reach all your Nazi customers?
And Pixel 10 phones are out.
Oh, wow. Only 6 releases away from the iPhone.
Isn't 17 next month?
Only 7 releases away from the upcoming iPhone.
There you go.
That's better.
Also, our big story later this week is Pandora's Ark, the science and ethics of the de-extinction process.
Who are we going to de-extinct first? Like Thomas Jefferson?
You want to do people?
Hell yeah, I want to do people. What else you can do? Animals? That's a lot less fun.
I think they're mostly doing animals at this point. It's National Dog Day, a special day dedicated to our incredible canine companions. It's a moment to honor the dogs who fill our lives with endless joy, unwavering loyalty, and unconditional love. Hug your hound, throw a ball for your buddy, and most importantly, consider opening your heart and home to a shelter dog. Every dog deserves a loving family. How was your week going?
Well, this is embarrassing. I thought in the pre-production meeting you said it was National Hot Dog Day.
That's a very
so
different...
here I was prepared and ready to do my own little mini version of the Nathan's eating competition, and now
enjoy your triglycerides.
Hooves, big hooves, lots of hooves. Speaking of hot dogs, we had some when we were camping.
Yeah.
I took my children out to the sequoias, as I like to do quite a bit throughout the summer.
Yeah.
It was amazing. We had legitimate thunder and lightning, which was awesome. Like full-on window rattling thunder. It was a complete blast. Our first night there, you're in bear country, right? You're like 8,000 feet. It's where bears roam.
Yeah.
But it's like they're California bears, so they're pretty chill. They're black bears. They don't want to rip your arms off.
They wear little swimboard shorts.
They do.
Sure.
They're pretty nice. Sometimes in the winter months they snowboard. You know, if you've done this more than once, if you're not one of the idiots that just goes up to Mammoth and leaves their trash everywhere, you know you don't leave anything out for the bears.
Oh, sure.
Because it doesn't matter what it is. If it's Cheetos, if it's granola, if it's shampoo,
they know they want
it. If it smells like something, they're going to find it. They're going to get it. And these aren't the bears like rip your car open to get to it, but like if it's accessible, they'll get to it. So there's bear boxes, etc.
Yeah.
However, I left out 2 water containers. And our first night there, I heard them getting smacked to the ground. And I was like, oh, crap, there's a bear.
Well, because there might be something else in there besides water.
But like they're supposed to smell. So I don't know if they smelled something on it or near it or what. But literally some bear just knocked both my water containers to the ground where they exploded and then left them and then took off.
Did they break one or did they both survive?
One broke and one survived. So I'm going to write a strongly worded letter to Stanley about how they should make more bear-proof containers. It was quite fun, but we had a great time. The kids loved it.
But was it crowded? How crowded is it these days when you go up there?
No. The places I go, no humans go to.
That's great.
We saw by human count, maybe 10 humans the whole time we were there.
Oh, that's amazing.
When you're camping in like a parking lot where you're tailgating is not fun to me. That's not camping.
Yeah.
So we go to very desolate places. Desolate?
That's cool.
Desolate. It was a lot of fun. Total blast. Fortunately, there were no fires from the lightning, at least when we were there, because that's a real concern. It was a great time. Kids loved it.
Awesome.
How about you? How's your week? Wait, how's your 2 weeks? It's been 2 weeks. How was your 2 weeks?
We spent them in Hawaii, which is absolutely beautiful. They keep it really nice. I don't know if you know that.
They do. They do try to keep it nice.
And no bears, at least at our hotel.
Bears there are way more relaxed.
I did while I was gone. You and I have talked about this before.
Yes.
I did order something from Temu.
Oh, yeah? You wanted a bunch of cheap crap delivered quasi-quickly?
Yeah.
What'd you order?
My son's girlfriend was with us, and she said she orders things from Temu, and I should try it. Now, I buy stuff from AliExpress all the time. I'm not afraid of buying things from China.
That's the argument that works on you? My buddy's dealer said heroin's great, and I should try it.
Not quite. I feel like she's right here. She's lovely. I actually like her a lot.
Hey, the PRC seems nice. I like those guys. I love dumplings. Why not?
Let's give this a try.
Okay, cool.
And I normally get to the Temu site, and there's some little spinny wheel there, and I don't really understand it, so I just give up and click away, and I'm done.
Boomer.
She says, just ignore the spinny thing and go look and see if they have. I was trying to order. I wasn't trying to order a teapot from Amazon. I ordered a teapot from Amazon.
I'm proud of you.
It came very poorly packed.
Okay.
So what I got were teapot crumbs.
You got teapot parts.
Yes.
Some assembly required. And a tube of glue. Was there a tube of glue inside?
There was no tube of glue. I would have been happier had there been a tube of glue, but it was just, there was no way any part of this was holding water.
You got a teapot puzzle is what you got.
No amount of Gorilla Glue was going to repair this thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I thought, I'm going to look and see if Temu offers this exact same teapot. And then I'm going to order it from Temu and see what the experience is like.
Of course they do.
Yeah.
Of course they do.
Turns out they do.
Yeah.
And it was like several bucks cheaper. It wasn't vastly cheaper, but it was several bucks cheaper. And there was no charge for the shipping.
Okay.
Which is like amazing.
Sure.
So I ordered the thing. Of course, I'm in Hawaii, so I have no idea when it's going to arrive back to the mainland.
Yeah.
I order it and it arrives here. I open it. It's in perfect condition. It's exactly what they packed it well, the whole thing.
Yep.
Great Temu experience. I don't have a bad thing to say about Temu. I have a hunch because of the price difference. I have a hunch they are probably losing a little bit of money on each order to gain market share because things were suspiciously cheap.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they do a lot of variable pricing, so it might be your first couple of orders, you get that, and then they raise it up. Who knows?
Maybe.
You've gotten the conduit 3 steps closer to the production is what you've done with Temu.
I was impressed. I got to say, it wasn't a bad experience. I mean, you and I have laughed at Temu and Shein for a long time thinking you're going to get cheap Chinese garbage. That wasn't my experience.
Look, there's plenty of cheap Chinese garbage on there. For sure.
I'm sure.
Doesn't mean it's all cheap Chinese garbage.
I was buying the exact same brand name that I was buying from Amazon, and it was cheaper.
I mean, I'll tell you the moment of truth that came down for me last week was there's a specific BMW trim part that I need for an old ass BMW I'm trying to keep alive.
Yeah.
And it's globally out of stock.
Sure.
I don't know if they're going to make it again. These trim pieces, a lot of times they don't make.
So buy 2 or 3 of them if you can find them.
But the problem is that it's a function of time, right? It's plastic. So if you order 3 now, by the time the one fails in 15 years, the other 2 are toast too. I Googled the part number and it's nowhere to be found. However, there are plenty of knockoffs on AliExpress. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, do I really want to buy some like crappy plastic molded version? But if you have no choice,
if you're wrong? How much was it? A couple of bucks?
No, it's like $30.
All right.
It's real money.
You'll survive if it's the wrong thing. Did you order it?
No, I didn't order it.
I'm chickened out.
I'm willing to pay like 8x to get the German-made part. Such a purist.
Because German-made plastic is so vastly
so much
superior.
better. Yeah, if it's not if it's not stamped with some German flag, I just can't buy it. This was the moment of crisis for me, though, where I was like, I just can't buy this from a non-OE provider. It has to be from an OE provider. And the worst part is I'm willing to wait like a year for it. I don't care.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So terrible. This actually happened, by the way. Anyway, it's never going to come back.
The Chinese part is probably every bit as good. It's probably the
same thing. They just ship it to Germany and stamp it. Lotus used to do this. Lotus would take Toyota parts made by Toyota out of the Toyota box, put it in a Lotus box, and mark it up 3x. It was the same part, it's just a different box. And it's like, I want to support you, Lotus, but I'm also can just waddle on down to the Toyota dealership and get the part that I need for the Lotus.
Right, it's not hard. It's right here.
I don't have to order it from Hethel. I can just go get it from, Santa Monica Toyota.
Should we maybe, I don't know. I feel so rusty at this. Should we get to our headlines, or do you just want to yammer on?
I mean, this is the point of the show where I'm depressed, so usually we transition to headlines. So yeah, let's do that.
I say it usually with more joy. Let me try it again.
Okay.
Let's get to our headlines.
Okay, let's do it.
The price of keeping your job. Intel sells stake to the U.S.
Oh, yeah.
President Trump announced a deal for the U.S. to take a 10% stake in Intel worth $10 billion. The move, which Trump claimed was initiated by Intel CEO Lip Bhutan to keep his job, comes after the president criticized the CEO's ties to China. By the way, the president days before this said that Lip Bhutan was completely unqualified for this job and had no business being the CEO of Intel.
Those are the best people to invest in, the ones that you believe are not qualified to do anything.
The ones that you believe are absolutely unqualified. Yeah. He also, previous to being CEO of Intel, I believe he ran a hedge fund of some sort or an investment fund of some sort, and they invested in some Chinese companies. And that was also bothering the Trump crowd. His connections to China, his ties to China.
Sure. He's a pretty smart dude. I don't know a ton about him, but he's a pretty smart. He has I think he's got a degree in physics. Like he's not a dum-dum. Yeah. He's also got, he has pointed up a mountain that he's got to climb to try to get Intel back to some level of...
I'm not sure it's possible at this point.
Of its yesteryear, yeah, probably not. But I still think Intel could survive as a brand and could still do some interesting things.
The problem is ultraviolet lithography and extreme ultraviolet lithography, and now we're moving to whatever the next step of that is. Are they going to catch up with those ASML machines?
No, that horse is out of the barn. It's gone.
Right.
But it's strategic for us to be able to have some modicum of manufacturing of vehicles and weaponry and things like that.
I know you need to be able to make chips on U.S. U.S. soil. Now, TSMC is apparently going to open some plants in Arizona. They've broken ground on some plants.
Oh, it's more than broken ground. They're stood up. They're training in them now. Like I've seen them with my eyes.
Okay.
That's there. You can't, I don't think I could Airbnb it for the day. Like, hey, I want to knock out some 3nm chips. Can I just show up for the day? I don't think that's how, although that is kind of their business model if you really think about it, but I digress.
It is.
It's kind of their business model. It's the Airbnb of chips. That's how they should pitch themselves. That's not the interesting take on this for me is I do feel like R&D for chips.
Yes.
There could be benefit to that being nationalized, like fully nationalized, like some sort of think tank. Like you think about
what are you talking about could be some benefit. I mean, think about if China takes over Taiwan and now we have no access to advanced chip production at all.
You said if. I think you meant when.
Well, I would hope the U.S. would stand up for Taiwan,
when the
even
big
though they
hand
say
gets to the 12, it's over.
Yeah,
like,
right. It's a very different thing.
I don't know when. But my point is, we've got some absolutely great think tanks here, right? You've got like Sandia Labs, which is primarily U.S. backed. You've got plenty of, I think it's actually wholly U.S. backed. R&D for chips probably makes sense to have here. Fabrication, I don't know. And the problem is,
you've got to have fabrication.
Well, no. I don't disagree with you.
I
don't disagree with you, but I don't know how you do it cost effectively, right? Or I shouldn't say cost effectively.
You can't. It will never be cost competitive.
So what do you do? Like, who buys from that? Do consumers?
Let me explain why. Because we can't abuse labor in the same way that you can in Taiwan. That's literally what will stop you from being able to be price competitive.
We abuse labor in plenty of places, and plenty of folks want to be able to get more.
Not as cost effectively as Taiwan does.
Of course. Yes. This is our cost effective labor abuse plan. No, but that's the problem. Yes. So how do you sustain fabrication? Who buys it, right? It's going to be hard to have private industry buy it.
Yeah.
Maybe you could have government subsidies to stand that up, or the government buys it, but then now all the government stuff is more expensive. So
they're all overpaying.
But my point is, if you were to split out R&D, and I don't know that you'd pull it out of Intel, but if you were to have R&D here, that would at least give us some foothold. And then the fabrication is like, okay, you're making the stuff that is good for 5 to 10 years, and then it's not as valuable as the next thing. Maybe that could be an approach that ends up happening here. Who knows?
It's super valuable if we're ever cut off from Taiwan.
Oh yeah, you have to have it.
Then suddenly that's the only chip fabrication that you have access to.
It's not just Taiwan, right? Because you've got the Netherlands. You've got to stay nice to as well, because it's where ASML is.
But I don't see any sign of China threatening to take over the Netherlands. Have you been hearing about that? I haven't been hearing about that.
Got some boats circling. They're out. I can't figure out how to get in through the lock system. That's been the big challenge. No, I'm not worried about China taking over the Netherlands. I'm worried about us pissing off the Netherlands enough that they're like, you know what? We're done. Like, I could see that world, but who knows? Right?
I hope not. I hope we maintain good relations with allies and former allies.
Well, I mean, ask Canada how that's going for them.
I know.
Anyway, my point is, I think having some of this technology live a little closer to owned by the people is a good idea. I'm not sure this deal gets us there, but just more abstractly, that kind of makes sense.
They were getting this money anyway. They were getting $10 million. This was a grant. Yeah, Intel had been granted this money under the CHIPS Act. The grant had been approved. And then the Trump administration came in and basically said, you're giving us 10% of the company
we want something
in exchange for this money that we already promised you. Yeah. So they're reneging on their promise.
Well, it wasn't their promise, first of all. They're reneging on
It's a promise that is written into U.S. law. You have just gone back on the word of the U.S.
Oh, wow. Bound by your word. Wow. Yeah. Okay, there's a bar we should set.
I'm kind of quaint, am I?
Yeah. How cute of you. I am not convinced. Look, what I believe is Intel should survive, and we want some version of it to survive. Intel has made a lot of I think, terrible decisions over the past, let's call it 20 plus years. Shoveling money at them without some sort of, let's say, cost to me, I don't think is the right thing. Now, I'm not saying that this is the right deal.
There was cost. There was potential
some profit sharing.
Attached.
Yeah. There's some profit sharing and whatnot. I think something that feels a little harsh or is probably not a bad thing. I have a hard time equating this exactly to what we did in 08-09 when we buttressed up banks.
You and I are going to disagree on this because I'm a big fan of not going back on your word.
I 100% think we shouldn't go back on our word, but this is the world that we're in, right?
This is those. I'm sorry. Those grants were awarded.
But I think
past tense, period, done.
Yeah, I no, look, generally speaking, I do agree with that. But I think...
Not generally speaking. You don't go back on your word. Your word has to be trustworthy, or now we suspect... We never know how we can trust you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I think that's the bigger problem, right? And by the way, we did this in 08 and 09, too. We also went back on our word then. We helped a bunch of banks, or we sort of put a gun to a bunch of banks' heads and said, you got to buy these assets. And then afterwards said, oh, yeah, actually, we're going to sue you now for doing this.
You're going to take the blame for all of their misdeeds. I'm not saying there wasn't, you bought them. Yeah.
Exactly. There wasn't precedent set already. Not from that, from years of this. To me, though, the bigger point is, how do you want to just shovel money at something that hasn't been managed terribly well without some cost? Yeah. And I think, generally speaking, the answer should probably be no. Now,
no, my answer is yes.
You're saying because the deal was already done.
I'm not only saying because the deal was already done. I'm also saying because I need you to focus on, well, two things. I need you to focus on building fabrication on U.S. soil, even though it's not going to be cost effective. I need it here in case I lose access to my existing fabrication capabilities. The other thing is, in that CHIPS Act, when you agreed to take that money, you agreed you were not going to sell to certain countries. You were not going to share that technology with certain countries. And I need that too.
Well, and I think some of that was removed and that to me is actually the bigger issue.
In the redeal, in this new deal, that's all been taken out.
Well, no, it hasn't all been taken out because they have to maintain now 50% of their foundry here.
51%, yes.
Yeah.
But no, they can now share technology with Russia. They can share technology with China. I mean, Iran and all these whatever the countries were.
You got lighter terms. That part to me is even more concerning.
Terrible.
But like why? And maybe like Intel asked for that. I don't know. But this does seem like a bit of a cluster. So, hooray!
We can end on that note.
It's a bit of a cluster. It's not. Look, I think it's better than letting Intel fail. I think we had a plan that was in place that was maybe not rushed, but to my knowledge, Intel wasn't hitting all the milestones they were trying to hit. So we were like, okay, well, let's just fucking keep shoveling money into the coal machine. Let's just keep shoveling money into the coal machine. What milestones
were they not hitting?
I think there were some milestones for the grants that they hadn't hit for deployment of capital. I don't know the specifics of it. We made some adjustments to say, well, hey, okay, maybe those weren't the right projections. I'm not saying they were. I'm not saying those adjustments were bad. But it's like, at what point do you go, well, maybe this should be more painful? My bigger concern is what happens when you do this 3 or 4 times? Like, do we want to own and operate this thing? Like 10% you can get away with saying, we're not an operator. We're going to vote with the board. What happens when that number is 50%?
We financed GM's. We bought 60% of
60% of that thing, right? Like basically gutted it and said, well, if you
sold
want to
exist, for a $10 billion loss, we lost money on that deal.
Well, yes and
no. Which
is
fine.
You lost money in the micro sense, but in the macro sense, holy cow, did that thing save a good chunk of the economy and manufacturing. So it's hard for me to just put a bunch of numbers into Excel and say, oh, well, you lost $10 million. What does split timeline look like if that thing went under?
Yeah, sure.
Yikesies. So anyway, everything's fine.
Musk's $1.5 billion problem is the FTC forcing brands to advertise on X.
Oh, everything's not fine.
The Federal Trade Commission is appealing to a judge's ruling that blocked its investigation into Media Matters for America, a nonprofit that monitors misinformation. The probe began after Elon Musk claimed Media Matters' report on ads appearing next to pro-Nazi posts on X caused a $1.5 billion drop in ad revenue. Shocking that if you put someone's ads next to pro-Nazi content, they might not want to advertise there again.
Well, hold on. It depends on what you're selling. If your primary revenue, hear me out. If your primary revenue source are white sheet sets, you're going to do great.
Or swastikas if you're a swastika printer.
That's your target audience, right? So like, it's not bad for all advertisers, just most of them.
Tide gets your white sheets ultra clean.
There you go. See, this is why we need to run an ad agency. It's like we have OxyClean, we've got Tide, we've got whatever the new Bed Bath & Beyond is. They have a whole white sheet section. We're going to stand this all up. Oh, you need 4x4s? Oh yeah, just going down to Home Depot. We're going to set up all of those.
So two interesting things here. Media Matters is basically going to probably evaporate. It's probably going out of business. All they did was wrote the report and said, listen, these ads are appearing next to pro-Nazi content.
Yeah.
And suddenly the revenues at X fell precipitously, shocking people wouldn't want their stuff next to pro-Nazi information. That's kind of interesting, and it will possibly lead to the destruction of Media Matters, which is too bad because it's a great organization. Largely, through most of its history, interested in correcting misinformation.
Yeah.
Not even conservative or liberal, any misinformation.
Sure.
Now they say, and we think probably to raise funds, they are saying that they're being careful about conservative misinformation.
Sure.
But I think that's because they have to raise money to try to stay alive, right? You think that's true?
I mean, if you look at the amount of misinformation that's out there,
well, the bulk of it.
And granted, I'm biased because I believe in science, but the bulk of the information that's out there that's misinformation seems to lean more conservatively. But okay, yeah. The like I think about, I put these guys in the same bucket as like Snopes. Like they just kind of want the truth to be told.
Yeah, they just want the actual. This is what the reality.
That's
is.
my read. I don't know a ton about their organization, but yes, I'm not happy to see them get squandered because like if I was an advertiser, I'd want to know where my media was being run.
Right.
The reason I'm not too concerned about it is I believe that hole will be filled. It'll be filled by another org. It'll be filled by technology. You're not going to be able to escape this.
They run this thing on razor thin margins.
They have like a $20 million a year top line. Like it's nothing.
Yeah.
The top line.
And they bring in like $19 million a year. So
exactly. I'm sorry. I misspoke by calling it top line. Their OpEx is like $20 million. Their quote top line is less than that. But the point is, this whole FTC ruling is really fascinating to me, not just because of what they're trying to do with X, but also as part of these other mergers that are happening where they're forcing advertisers to say, well, you got to be on all platforms.
Right. Why do I have to be on all platforms? Why can't I be on the ones I want to be on?
But if ABC's got the higher rated show, I want to advertise on ABC as opposed to NBC. Like that's how this has worked for years.
Or if I don't like the content of ABC's show.
So this is kind of fascinating to me, where it really does feel like we're getting a little bit of crying, not over spilt milk, but like
it's very strange. Does the My Pillow guy now have to advertise on MSNBC? They're not called MSNBC anymore. MSN Now.
I was hoping to get through a return episode of that one My Pillow reference, but here we are.
Do we do a lot of My Pillow references? I don't remember ever mentioning it before. Big First Amendment concerns. You have the right to advertise where you want to advertise and not advertise where you don't want to, but not according to the FTC, which is trying to do Musk's bidding apparently this week.
It's very interesting where what we're calling political doesn't seem political, at least by my understanding of the word. Like you have content that you're aligned with, that you allow on your platform that advertisers aren't aligned with.
Yeah.
And I'd argue even if it is political, that should be their choice. Like you shouldn't have to mandate that they, regardless of political affiliation, they advertise there. Like I thought we were free market.
And some places, some outlets are going to be more targeted toward things that your customers will be interested in. I mean, if I sell cat food, do I have to sell it on Dog Fancy? That would make no sense.
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Because you feed the cats and then the cats feed the dogs.
We have coyotes here now.
What do you mean now? You've always had coyotes here.
I know, but we have them in the daytime. Now they come out in the daytime. I've never seen them come out in the daytime before. First of all, I love the coyotes. I love at night when I hear them howl.
Okay.
It's the coolest thing.
It is.
Absolutely. But the only thing is, for anyone who has a cat who they think they should have an outdoor cat, your cat's going to be lunch. What do you think is going to happen to your cat?
You're not going to have an outdoor cat for long.
And by the way, I don't let Barkley go outside in my backyard, which has walls around it.
Oh, coyotes don't care about walls.
Because coyotes don't care about walls.
They don't care about walls. Unless, here's the thing. If you have a wall and you paint it like the background, they will try to run right through it. That's what you got to do.
That's true.
That's what you got to do.
Thought of that.
I've got years of experience watching documentaries on the same concept, the same topic. They will run right through it.
Google Pixel 10 phones are out. The Pixel 10 phones are here, and they're all about AI. Powered by the new Tensor G5 chip and Gemini Nano, they bring on-device AI to the next level.
Did you say Gemini Nano?
Gemini Nano.
You just go full Mork and Mindy on me?
It is the Gemini Nano. It's the small, large model. SLLM.
The next version will be called the Pico. Thank you very much for letting me know what nano means. I love when you mansplain SI units to me. As you know, I think, and most of our listeners know, I'm the iPhone guy.
Sure.
And you're the Google guy. I'm more excited about this phone than I should be.
Yeah.
They've put some really cool stuff into this. And I think the biggest thing that excites me about this is it seems like, and we don't know for sure, but I think we're pretty sure, most everything runs locally for AI. And that is the way this has to go down.
The phone doesn't come out for 2 days, so nobody can really test
2
this.
days. I love that it's
2 days we'll know.
I know. 2 days. I don't have that kind of time. time.
I don't want to mislead anyone that we've actually had our hands in this thing. Nobody has had their hands on this thing yet.
Super compelling. The release version. I mean, it looks like all of the things they've done to this.
Let me walk through some of the things that excite me about it. Because there's a lot of things about it that they announced that they were super
large
excited about.
Large text mode. Okay, next.
Exactly. A lot of things that just don't...
Sweetie, look at this. 100 points. Holy shit.
A lot of things that I just don't do much for me. Qi charging 2.2. Yeah, okay, so I can pump more wattage in my phone. I charge my phone when I go to sleep at night. Whatever speed
you leave
it's
your house
at.
once a week. For the rest of us that leave our house more often than this, that's important.
If I'm charging my phone at 5 watts or charging my phone at 25, it doesn't make any difference to me. Charging thing, I just don't care. Okay, Magic Q.
Yes.
This is the AI acting like a mind reader. It's looking in your calendar, it's looking in your text messages, it's looking at all the different various Google apps, Gmail, whatever. If you're texting your friend and you're talking about, and your friend asks, what time are we going to dinner? It surfaces the information of your dinner reservation that you can then forward to him
concerning.
Without you doing anything. So it sends you the address and the time and all that stuff. You don't have to, and it's all local.
This is why I have to keep my wife on an iPhone, because if she had one of these and like, what time are we going to dinner? She'd be like, I don't want to eat with you. That would be the response constantly. She'd be like, I didn't say that. Magic Q said that. Like, well, but it's reading your thoughts.
So for her, then it would surface the times when she has a conflicting event.
No, it would surface the times when the person she's trying to eat with has a conflicting event. Is what it would do.
Okay, either way. Anyway, Magic Q is really cool, and it's all on device, which is wonderful. For sending things off to the server for 2 reasons. Obviously, the security thing is a nightmare.
Yeah.
Obviously, you don't want your stuff going off device if you can help it. The other thing is just the timing of it.
Sure.
When you're sending things off device to the server, the latency, and it just makes things feel awkward because things are happening.
What's bananas to me about this is like, we're not talking about a big difference in latency, but it will feel significant.
It's enough to notice.
Oh, it'll feel significant. Yeah. It's the difference between it feeling like it's just always on and like you're waiting for a thing, even if it's 400 or 500 milliseconds. It's really crazy how much of an effect that has on making the technology more sort of like an everyday extension of yourself.
Let me mention one that does not happen locally, which is edit with Ask Photos. Okay. So you can literally say, make the sky more blue, or remove the cars in the background, or fix the washed out colors, or whatever. And it does it with voice. Now it's going to the server. It's doing that. That's going to come for all Google Photo users.
2 things.
But it's still pretty cool.
Okay, 2 things.
Yeah.
One, I love when you refer to it as, quote, the server, Grandpa. Like there's just a server. There's the server.
Okay.
They've got the
cloud,
one
Junior.
Somewhere in Palo Alto, Google has the one photo server. They're like, don't restart the photo server. Jeff can't edit his photos.
It's a used laptop that they're using as a server. It's nice.
It probably is. Most of their kit looks like that. More interesting to me, though, is like they've already automated out the very difficult selection process of mashing the like background change button and mashing blue. You just ask.
You don't have to push any levers.
I know.
You don't even have to know what levers to push.
Fascinating to me. It's like the hard part was actually changing the background. Like that was the real hard part that we've engineered years ago. Yeah. And now they're like, oh yeah, I'll just put this like voice interface on it to make it super simple.
Natural language voice. I don't even have to say the words in a certain order.
I mean, we are 1 or 2 releases away from being able to have in like your AirPods or your Google Nano earplugs, whatever the hell they're called, and just being able to say, I don't like the way Jeff sounds. Make him sound nicer. And while I'm talking to you, it will just make you sound like that is really not that far away from being able to do that. It's fascinating to me.
I already can. If you speak German and I speak English, we already can talk, and the translation is happening locally.
That's crazy.
You will hear my voice sounding like my voice
in German,
only speaking German to you.
That's incredible. I mean, I do think all of this is table stakes. Like you're going to see everyone catch up to this within a year or 2, right? If they're not already in development.
Pretty cool stuff. The zoom, the 100x zoom.
This one's bananas.
Yeah, which is using local AI on your phone to fill in the picture that you're taking so that you look like you have a much higher resolution picture than you actually have.
Okay, so let's be clear.
I know, it's not a picture.
These are not pictures. These are not photographs, right? Like I was getting a little grumpy about calling them photographs when we started doing the AI touch up. And then when Samsung was like, oh, we're just going to plop a moon in here. I'm like, okay, I get it. You've made a better experience for me, but it's not a photograph that I took with my camera.
Right. And it had nothing to do with reality. It was augmented.
Like I can give you some rope when you swap faces from multiple photos. So you get one when everyone's eyes open. I think that's a really cool feature.
Best take. It's awesome.
It's great. But then when you go ahead and like just insert myself, it's not a photo anymore.
Yeah.
At some point it stopped being a photo and it's something else. I don't know. It's like, it's personalized art. I don't know what you call it.
CJ's mentioning 2 features. Best take, which is if you take multiple shots of a group and some people have their eyes closed in various takes of the shot, it'll merge all the shots to the best shot of each individual person in the photograph. So everybody will look as good as they can. And if you're not happy with the one that the AI picked, literally you can put your finger on it and choose which one you want. The other one is add me. If you're the one taking the picture and you're not in the photo, you can just have it add you in.
These are great ideas and great features, but they are missing the mark. It should be, I think a group photo would be like, okay, make me 30 pounds lighter. Well, take out the gray hair.
You can do that.
Right.
That literally, the edit with Ask Photos will do those things.
When I have my AR goggles on, I just make everybody look thin around me. It'll be great, except for Jeff. I'll be like, make Jeff 30 pounds heavier. Everybody else will be supermodel, and you'll just be plump.
Fantastic. I love it. When you zoom into that 100x zoom and you take a photo, if there's a person in the photo, it doesn't actually adjust the person in any way.
Well, I mean, how would it? How would it know what to adjust them to?
No human face. It just leaves them alone.
You know what they should do? It's like when you zoom in 100x, if there's a person in the photo, it'll just swap them out with Tom from MySpace. Everyone will just be Tom. So just have a little picture of Tom. That's what it should do.
Okay, there's another feature called Direct My Call, which is really handy. I mean, they've had the thing for a long time where you have the phone hold for you and all that kind of stuff.
I send all my telemarketer calls to you. Yeah. That's how I've interpreted it.
This is kind of cool because you get a visual implementation of a company's phone system. Press 1 if you want to hear this message in Spanish. Press 2 if you want to hear it in French. Whatever. And you go through all the menus, but you get this visual menu that you just go pop, 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 and you can zip right through. You don't have to wait for that, those voices to explain the prompts, all the different prompts.
I love it. That's great.
Real-time transcription and translation. We talked about that. Thread radios on board.
Yeah.
I love the fact that they have thread radios.
You and I are the only two people in the world that really care about this.
But eventually the rest of the world's going to care about it too.
Because we are, as everyone knows, we are trendsetters. This is really cool because the cost on this, the incremental cost to put this in the phone
is nothing.
It has to be very close to $0.
It's a nickel.
And the R&D cost to implement this also has to be very close to $0.
Yeah.
But by doing this, it's like when we started seeing like I think Apple was the first to have a laptop with USB-C only ports. Mm-hmm. It was terrible for the early adopters. It was great for all of us later because USB-C became more popular for peripherals.
Because it forced everyone to USB-C.
This is like that, except there's no downside to having it. If you don't use it, you don't use it.
Yeah.
But now more and more manufacturers will be like, oh, we should probably embrace Thread, which is an open standard across manufacturers. This is great. I suspect you're going to see Thread radios in more and more phones and other devices in the coming years. I think you kind of have to.
Let's back up 2 seconds here. Just explain that Thread radios are for IoT devices and IoT devices that support Thread. You can talk directly to them. So if I have a light that's an Internet of Things light, rather than hit a button and the message has to go to the server and the server sends the message back to turn on the light, there's a big lag. Again, we're talking about that latency issue.
Yep.
That latency issue is gone. When you tap that button to turn that light on your phone, that will almost be like it's a wired switch.
Yes.
I mean, it's almost imperceptibly different from a wired switch when you're going directly with a Thread radio like that.
My recommendation to folks, even if no matter where you are on your home automation IoT journey, my recommendation would be to only buy Thread devices going forward if you can. Not everything exists in Thread form, but you should try to wait. Definitely don't buy anything that's Wi-Fi.
A lot of stuff is coming. Yeah.
I would just go Thread only because it's going to be, as far as we know right now, the most durable standard going forward.
You would be so proud of me. I deleted my last instance of a Wi-Fi server integration. They're all gone now from my home assistant.
Did you? Yeah. You had to replace physical devices, right?
I replaced a handheld. I had probably 6 left a few months ago, and now I have 0.
You beat me. I still have a couple. Yeah. They don't work, but they're here.
Thrilled they're gone. Well, I had an internet outage, and so all those devices weren't working. Everything else, all my Thread radios worked perfectly.
That's great.
And it was like, oh no, this aggression cannot stand.
Yeah.
You have to go. You have to go. You have to go. And then they were gone, as quickly as possible.
I have Wi-Fi devices that still work locally, so they work even when the internet is down. Problem is, they just don't always work. Like they botch DHCP reservations. They all sorts of crap they don't do well. And I'm like, this is garbage, and they all need to be thrown away.
You got to get rid of that stuff. It's just, life is so much better.
Yeah.
Again, what CJ said is true. Yeah. Hold out for Thread.
Yeah.
You will be so happy you did.
That's the plan.
Anyway, so the big takeaway is on-device Gemini Nano, and the Tensor 5 chip allows you all that stuff to run beautifully on locally, which is great.
This will be everything going forward, right? I mean, you've seen it here. You'll see it with all the other Android phones. You'll see it with the iPhone more and more. This is definitely the future. Local AI.
Okay, enough with the headlines. In fact, enough with the episode. We have to get out of here. Special thanks to our floor director, Patrick O'Neill.
Thanks, Patty McPatface.
We'll be back later this week with our big story, The Lazarus Project, the science and ethics of the de-extinction process. Until then, thank you for listening to all this nonsense. I'm Jeff Parker.
I'm Steve Little.
Adios, amigos.
Hasta la vista, baby. Jeff, when it comes to the internet, being ready to catch a wave isn't enough anymore.
No?
You'll now need to catch a 3D wave.
Oh, was I catching 2D waves before?
You were on 2D waves.
Oh.
With Tagram's new 64-bit PCI 3D entertainment and multimedia system with supplied 3D web browser plugin,
oh, wow,
you can experience cyberspace, or VRML, the way it was meant to be, in virtual 3D.
Wow.
Combined with our high-speed 33.6 fax modem, you get unparalleled performance with state-of-the-art graphics. And if web surfing isn't fast enough for you...
it's combined with a fax modem? This is awesome.
This is so awesome. And if web surfing isn't fast enough for you, how about supersonic jet access using our new ISDN terminal adapter? With a single logical channel data rate of 128 kilobits, you'll never have to wait to catch a wave again.
Wow.
Call today to order your Thunderbolt system from Tagram's in Costa Mesa, California.
I can't wait for it to arrive.
This is a real ad that I read almost verbatim. It made me giggle so much because there's so much interleaved in this.
Oh, it's just great.
The 33.6 fax modem threw me off because I was like, oh, wait, that was earlier. So like, why are you combining it? But then I was like, oh yeah, ISDN. I remember when we had ISDN channels.
You just tagged it on for free.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, we got these extra modems sitting around. How are we going to sell them? Like VRML was a thing for a hot minute where they're like, oh, this is the future. And I was like, I don't know. And as it turns out, 30 years later, still quite haven't figured out VRML equivalency yet.
Oh, yeah.
It's got a ways to go. What else is fascinating about this is they called it Thunderbolt, which was long before, I mean, I know Thunderbolt is a word,
actual
obviously,
Thunderbolt, sure.
but long before the Thunderbolt that we know of today. The other thing that is amusing to me, by the way, is in the actual ad. So in the ad that I read verbatim, I did change one thing. I said with a single logical channel data rate of 128 kilobits because I was alive then and I knew it was 128 kilobits.
Yeah.
In the ad, it read 128 bits. I know it's just a typo.
Yeah, sure.
But I think it's kind of awesome. Where you're just like, okay, we're going to just take 128 bits here per second. By the way, these things were not cheap.
How much? How much?
Well, they sold fully integrated systems. So they were trying to wrap it all into a system, but you're still talking about incremental cost of $3,000 to $4,000 for one of these things.
Wow. In today's dollars or back then dollars?
In then dollars. I mean, that's what a computer went for.
Yeah.
You wanted a Pentium Pro, it was $3,000 with a whopping 64 megabytes of memory. I take photos bigger than that now.
Oh, for sure.
When do you think this is? This one is kind of hard.
Yeah.
When do you think this is? When do you think this ad was from?
It's a couple of clues here.
Yes.
64-bit PCI, so it was after the 32-bit. We had graduated from that.
Your powers of deduction are incredible. Yes.
No. I mean, but I'm just saying that's how I can place it in time.
Yep.
That's good.
Yep.
That's like mid-90s somewhere in there.
Yeah.
The 3D, the VRML probably was around the same time. My guess would be 96 or somewhere in there. Can't be much beyond the mid-90s.
You are squarely in mid-90s. So 96 is when this ad was from.
Well, that's what I said.
I know that's what you said. That's why I said that's where you were right.
We're awfully testy today.
Take the compliment, Parker.